Alright guys, this is it, the final Smash Bros. Weekly discussion. So the picks of the day are coming to an end. But before we talk more about that, we've got some picks of the day to actually get through. And that starts with Monday, where Sakurai talks a little bit more about special orders mode, specifically master orders and crazy orders. Now we've already talked about this mode pretty much ad nauseum. So I don't know if we have much to add to this at all.
No, probably not. I mean, this is just going over information about the game that we already know because the game's out and we've been playing it for weeks now.
Oh, we're good. On the Tuesday.
I will ask this now because I've had a little bit more time with it.
So that explains the delay in the Pokemon guide.
I've play a little bit of Smash. Come on. No, I was wondering if either of you guys were able to beat an intense ticket yet in Master Orders.
I have not tried yet. I tried once and I think I failed and I couldn't get another intense ticket to come back up, so I just kind of gave up for now.
It's like the easiest thing in the world.
Really? What did you do?
No, I'm joking.
What did you do to do it?
No, they're super hard, but it depends on the challenge. So some of them aren't as hard as others. So
no, you're totally right about that. I mean, I was trying to complete a challenge and I had very hard come up and I'm like, okay, I'll try to do that. And it took me like 3 or 4 tries, but I did try intense ones and I was just like, holy crap, this has just kicked the crap out of me.
Yeah, they're pretty rough. But I actually base the challenge that I want to go for based on the reward. And usually that's CDs.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that actually brings me to Crazy Orders mode because, yeah, like you said, I choose a ticket based on the reward, and it just so happens that Crazy Orders mode seems to be the most reliable way to get CDs because that's really the only mode that you can get CDs as a reward other than just playing regular Smash battles and having them appear randomly as items.
Right.
I haven't even had a CD show up in a random,
It happens so rarely, which is exactly why I'm using Crazy Orders to farm CDs because it's just they appear so rarely in other modes.
It is kind of weird. I do remember them being more frequent in Brawl, as I recall. I could be confusing that with all the stickers that would appear in every match.
No, CDs are definitely more common in Brawl. I kind of wish they were as common as they were in Brawl here, but they definitely are not.
Alright, well moving on to Tuesday, you can now be twice as efficient in a lot of the single-player modes because single-player is a misnomer these days, given that everything allows you to play with 2 players now. Such as Classic Mode, All-Star Events Mode, Home Run Contest, and on and on. Have you guys tried either, or tried any of those in 2-player yet?
I tried it just by myself just to see if it was, reasonably easy to get 2 classic character trophies at once. And it turns out it is. I mean, in Classic, you can just have a second character, or a second player idling by, and even if they get knocked out, as long as you still win, you'll actually get both character trophies at the end of the run. Unfortunately, that does not work in All-Star, because if even one player is knocked out, it's game over. So you can double up on Classic, but you can't on All-Star.
Interesting. I wonder why they made that distinction.
Maybe just, I don't know, maybe Sakurai really was that mean and just was like, no, they're going to double up on Classic, but they're going to be crafty like that, but no, All-Star, they still have to go through with every single character. Can we just skip the Wednesday pick of the day? It just depresses me too much. Can we please just not talk about it?
Nope, we got to talk about it, all about it. The rest of the discussion is going to be all about rubbing in the face that your hopes and dreams were dashed.
Yeah, I don't think it's looking too good for the Chorus Kids, Ash. But at least there is one cool detail in this post. So Sakurai mentions that some of the trophies are actually flat or 2-dimensional because that's how the characters appeared in their original game, like the Rhythm Heaven ones here. But they added a cool little detail, and that's the fact that if you rotate some of these trophies and view them from the back side, they actually have a back to them, unlike in the original game, which really just goes to show how much detail they put into everything in this game.
I recently unlocked the Marshall trophy. There's the Marshall and 2 of his friends from Rhythm Heaven Fever, and I was really shocked to find that they also changed their poses when you view the trophy from the back. It's a really cool little detail. I like it.
Yeah, I didn't realize, because I had unlocked a few 2D trophies, but mainly I just read the little blurb and then move on to the next. It doesn't usually give it enough time to rotate and for me to notice a different backside, but I've had like the Mario Brothers trophies where those are 2D as well, but they're the same on both sides. So this is actually the first I've even heard about them having a different look depending on which side you're viewing them on. And it's a really neat detail and shows just how much effort they put into this stuff when they really, honestly, didn't even need to.
Yep, that's basically the case for all of Smash Brothers.
It's effort that could have gone into making the Chorus Kids playable.
Man.
I know there's a huge amount of difference in the effort required to do both things, but
just
still,
slightly.
Just slightly, but still, this just makes me so sad. How is there no Rhythm Heaven content in this game other than trophies? I mean, I love this game. It's so exhaustive. It's so good.
It is especially odd when you consider that Electroplankton got a stage in Brawl,
That's even worse. Like, I didn't even think about it in that context. Thanks for pissing me off even more.
We had to end our final weekly discussion on a high note, and for me, it's pissing you off.
Right. I just don't understand how. I mean, Sakurai has said Rhythm Heaven is one of his favorite series. He loves video game music. Man, how did Rhythm Heaven not at least get a stage?
It's weird, right?
Because Electroplankton is just that much better.
Obviously, I mean, Electroplankton is obviously Game of the Year material.
Yeah, God, that was one of my least favorite stages.
Oh yeah, I never played it.
It wasn't good.
Yeah.
All right. No. Well, moving on to Thursday. Sakurai tells us a little bit more about Amiibos, and which is actually still useful information. Because as far as I can tell, they're all still kind of like a mystery as to what exactly they learn and what how they learn. And he elaborates that if you use the same character as an Amiibo, it's actually easier for them to learn.
No, I haven't really bothered training my Amiibo much because once I found out, I was like, oh crap, I can't go online with them. It's sort of like killed some of the fun for me. Because once again, I don't really have a lot of people around me that are interested in playing Smash, let alone buying an Amiibo for it. So it's sort of like, it's cool to have, but I don't really have the motivation to try to train them up, unless I want to like increase the challenge for myself, which I do on occasion. But it's still just sort of like it's really neat to have, and it's cool to hear the stories of people training theirs up and seeing how they really improve and actually like take the time. It really does almost feel like real Pokemon training when it comes to the Amiibos, but it's something I can't really access, so I just don't really have that much interest in doing myself because there's no point.
Right. I mean, I had some fun with my Amiibo at the Smash Wii U launch party I had, just because I reached a point, with friends where, we were beating our Amiibo that were in the matches, but then suddenly they leveled up and were outlasting us, and were consistently the last players in the match. And it got to the point where I could not beat my level 50 Mario Amiibo one-on-one. Like, he just got too good. It's a little scary. Also, I don't know if you noticed in this first screenshot here, but I think we got another hint as to another possible DLC character.
Oh.
Chili.
Oh, Chili Willy's going to be in.
Chili's
awesome.
totally going to be a DLC character.
I love Chili.
So we have Chili, and what was the first one we had? Who was the one before this?
Oh,
God, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember, but I'm actually curious. Did I just date myself? How many people actually remember Chili Willy?
I don't know who that is.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm older than you, and I still don't know who Chili Willy is.
Really? You guys didn't watch Woody Woodpecker?
No, I mean, of course I know Woody Woodpecker, yeah. But I was more of a...
Wasn't that like a 60s cartoon?
Yes, but I watched Cartoon Network like nonstop when I was a kid. So they had Woody Woodpecker on there, and as part of the Woody Woodpecker show, they had Chili Willy, which is a penguin.
Somehow
cartoon.
you dated yourself even beyond how old you actually are. That's impressive.
I know.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I love cartoons.
I'll do you one better. Have either of you ever heard of Denver the Last Dinosaur?
Hell yeah!
Really? So many people haven't.
Was he the one that was like a '90s kid, like '90s, like singing and dancing with his?
Well,
guitar?
yeah, he's your friend and a whole lot more. I mean,
Yeah.
so many people don't know who that is. I'm shocked that both of you do. That's great.
You just put the theme song in my head.
That's actually a legitimate dating yourself. That's actually from our era. So.
Yeah. Well, I think this last pick of the day discussion is really just iconic now, just because we're talking about Denver the Last Dinosaur. This is pretty great.
This is really the ultimate way to end it, right? We shouldn't even bother with with Friday's picture.
Ash, you really need to get a Yoshi amiibo now and name him Denver.
That's a great idea. I could not think of a name for my Yoshi amiibo because I have one, and now I will use Denver. That's perfect.
All right, moving on to Friday. Sakurai, posts a picture of the Japanese title screen and then mentions the game is finally out in Japan. He goes on to mention that the game came out last in Japan, but it might make up for the fact that they got the 3DS one first. And then he goes on to provide a little bit of information about how this is his final post, and that since E3 2013, he's made 384 posts and roughly 500 screenshots. So this is kind of an epic final post, I feel like. There's a good, it provides a really good summary of everything that's happened and a little bit more insight into the entire process.
Yeah, and it's a little melancholy, especially because Sakurai just gave an interview where he said that this might be his last Smash Bros game.
That's right.
So this really could be the end of an era in two ways, honestly. And he may actually come back for the next Smash Bros. Game, but he might not. And if he doesn't, this really is the end of an era in a lot of ways.
Yeah, because we've all seen just how much this series takes out of him.
Yeah.
It's damn near killing him, but it's such good quality, and it's like, I can't really imagine a Smash Bros. Game not developed by Sakurai. It's like, it'd be so weird. Like, who would take over?
I can't think of anyone else qualified. There's so few directors out there who are as talented as Sakurai is. He really is a visionary. And he's one of my favorite game developers of all time, and I really can't think of anyone who I would trust the Smash Bros. Series with in terms of polish and Nintendo lore, and I mean, you can tell how much he loves it.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But I don't know. I feel like Nintendo has more than enough developers that could take over for this game.
Right.
It may not be the same game. I have no doubt it would be a fine game, though.
That's true.
I mean, they've already gone through so many series. They've already switched developers, or Miyamoto. When was the last time Miyamoto actually made a game?
Right.
Right.
True.
So I'm not really concerned at all, and I also don't think this will be his last game. I feel like this is something he said before with past games.
It's true.
And I really do think this is just another Hideo Kojima moment we have.
It very well could be.
Yeah.
He can't help himself. It's his
Right.
baby, so he has to do it. But I will ask, which did you guys end up liking more? This weekly pick of the day type thing that we've been doing for the past year, or Brawl's whole website devoted where you still had one piece of information? Did you have more fun with that, or with the Brawl lead up, or did you have more fun with the Smash 3DS and Wii U lead up?
That's hard to say. I mean,
Yeah.
this is different because we were able to discuss this. Like, we're in a different era now. We were able to make videos about all these pictures, which is kind of crazy, and go on for a ridiculous amount of time about pictures that had nothing in them. With that said, as a fan, I would have to say I had more fun with Brawl. I think that was for multiple reasons. One, that game, I said before, this game feels like the least changed to me relative to the previous game in the Smash series, and I feel like that was something I felt even leading up to the game's release. And so Brawl just felt like it had so much new and so much more content. And the way they describe that content on the website, it went super in depth sometimes.
Yeah.
On the smallest of things. So I definitely had more fun with Brawl. I had a great time here, but Brawl for me, I don't know if that can be topped in how they presented that information and the information that they presented.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, the picks of the day have been great, but I think the Brawl Dojo was just a little more consistently exciting. I think the character reveals came a little more closer together, and there were more and bigger reveals more often. Just because some of the picks of the day, the reveals were scheduled so strangely. I mean, we got a deluge of Wii U stages right at the very end, and they didn't really pepper the big reveals, throughout the entirety of the pick of the day as well as I thought they could have. The schedule just always seemed to be a little strange to me. But I mean, the pick of the day was still really a lot of fun. Can it match the Brawl Dojo? No, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because I think we all agree that in Smash Bros. For Wii U, Sakurai and his team have created the definitive Smash Bros. Experience. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think it does everything. I think it does things. I think the core mechanics there of the game are the best. It's the best lineup. We have a great set of stages. Of course, there's stuff I could point out that I would like to see improved or implemented from past games or stuff like that. You're never going to have an ideal experience because each game, while still structured mostly the same, each has its own unique touch that makes it stand out from the rest.
Yeah.
And that's kind of unique. I mean, yeah, as Andre said, this is the least changed out of all of them, but there's still enough in here, I think, that you can point out saying how it's unique from Brawl, Melee, and 64.
Yeah.
And I can't think of another series that's been this consistent of a quality while also keeping the mechanics pretty different and changed up all the stuff surrounding the primary portion of the game the entire time. And I don't know, it's impressive, really. Yeah,
it is. I mean, this is officially the end of a year and a half's worth of information.
Yeah.
And it is and it is reflected in the game itself. Even though it is the 4th or 5th installment of this game, it still very much has its own personality, its own voice, really.
I will say I'm slightly disappointed because I really did think that Sakurai would at least end with a little teaser of Mewtwo in game. I thought maybe he would just show us some in-game screenshots of Mewtwo in action. As kind of a send-off to the pick of the day. But clearly I was wrong and he didn't do that, and that's totally fine. But
the text teaser isn't enough for you?
No, and the way it's worded, it does kind of. I mean, I'm sure there'll be DLC, but it does almost sound like Mewtwo is all they're creating. I know that's probably not going to be the case, but the way it's worded, it does sound like Mewtwo is all they're planning.
Yeah, well, they've said before how long it takes for it takes to create a character. Right. So it definitely seems like Mewtwo was a late addition. Like, okay, we're wrapping up most of the stuff, so let's devote a bit of the team to Mewtwo and start working on that for this sort of DLC bonus thing.
I do like his little not shout out, but his little jab at the people where he said, all while some people only wanted new information from my posts. He's totally talking about the NeoGAF crowd who would just be like, wasted pick of the day, stupid pick of the day, when it was just a fun one and it didn't have like new information.
It's still weird that we didn't get like any more fun ones after he said
he would do them. Yeah,
exactly.
We got like 2.
Yeah, right. I wish he had done a few more fun ones to close things off.
I mean, you said a year and a half, but Andre, I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about that. Almost exactly a year ago, we started doing these weekly discussions.
Tomorrow would be the official 1-year anniversary.
Which is kind of funny because we started 6 months late with the whole discussion thing because it took us forever to do the initial analysis.
Yeah, and that dovetailed nicely though because he actually did start off with just mostly funny picks. There was actually very little new information, right after E3. So when we started doing the discussions is when we started getting more information too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is crazy that here we are a year later. The game's out worldwide, and this is it.
Well, and what's also crazy is it's not just a year and a half of picks a day. It's also, if you really think about it, 2.5 years of hype, because the games were originally technically announced at E3 2012 by Iwata, saying, just so you know, there are new Smash Bros games in development for both Wii U and 3DS, and that's all he said. Mm-hmm. And then people, of course, went nuts, but that's literally the only information we got in the game until the trailer, of course, at E3 2013, the following year. That's true. This really has been 2.5 years of a combined hype plus information plus picks of the day plus, releasing. It's been a long road.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah, it's still weird that this is basically it. Although I'm sure we'll still have more things to discuss as soon as Mewtwo comes out, or as soon as they show off more of Mewtwo. We're gonna be firing all cylinders.
DLC Mewtwo, like we're still talking about Smash. I mean, I'm still doing Game & Watches for Hyrule Warriors. Games don't end anymore.
It's true.
It does not.
I mean, like even though this is the end of the weeklies, like it doesn't really change much for us. So
Nope. We'll still be doing our same old thing.
And this actually this actually opens up some new opportunities for us. But we have some ideas of what else we want to do, both discussion-wise and other content-wise. And I think we might have some cool things coming down the line. So
our discussions. You've seen, we've talked about nothing before. You can't shut us up.
We should just take our own pictures and discuss those.
Yeah, just of us playing Smash Brothers. Or just of random everyday things.
Right.
Yeah.
We can go the full Charles Martinet.
Oh yeah, right. When we start talking as the characters.
Yeah.
All right. Would you guys have any final thoughts at all? Your final thoughts before we wrap things up here?
It's going to be nice to finally get to bed before 3 a.m. I haven't done that on a Thursday in months. So that'll be nice at the very least.
It'll be nice for me not to have to remember to Instagram each picture anymore, because for some of you might know, but I've been Instagramming each pick of the day since like back near Ike's reveal. So it'll be nice not to have to remember to do that. And
well, you kind of already stopped this week from the looks of it.
No, yeah, because I've been so busy with like personal life stuff that I had to do like all 3 days. I had to do like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday all in one day, and I did today's. So I will do tomorrow's tomorrow, and that'll be it. But yeah, that's been a lot of fun, honestly. And I think my final thought is that I'm looking forward to our inevitable discussion about the Chorus Kids and Dixie Kong DLC. I'm super excited.
Gotta keep the hope,
right? I keep hope alive. It has to happen. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up for us here. So thanks, guys, for watching. If you liked our discussion, make sure to like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain, which you can find links to in the description below. And of course, keep an eye on GameXplain.com for more on Smash Bros. Wii U. Yeah, we're not done yet. And other things gaming as well. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.